Hey there everybody, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Chris Olmy, and today we are back playing Franchise Hockey Manager 3, starting our career with the Regina Pats in the WHL as we got offered the job starting unemployed on our path to glory, the new mode for FHM 3. Now if you look down in the description below and head over to Twitter at Chris Olmy, you should find information about the giveaway that is happening currently for Franchise Hockey Manager 3. Not only was I given the game to play and record, stream, etc. by Out of the Park Developments and by the Twitter account at Franchise Hockey, go and give them a follow. Great people putting together what looks to be a great game to start with. So let's get out of the way. I love this game. I loved FHM 2, it had some issues. This is so much more in-depth in a couple of places that it just feels like a total evolution. So go buy the game, enter the giveaway. All details are on there, as I say. Give at Franchise Hockey a follow as well on Twitter for latest news. And also they stream on Twitch showing off the game. I think it was every Thursday if I'm correct. They normally did a stream, so keep an eye out on that as well. Details should be up on their Twitter. With all that out of the way though, like I say, we're with the Regina Pats. Not a great team. We need to get into the playoffs. That's kind of the only goal. And I've put together a little team based on the players I had available. I did some pre-scouting in terms of drafts, in terms of trades. I've got 3 in particular I want to make go through right now, and I've got a 4th that I'm still trying to figure out. If you look at our team, it's not great. I'm really looking to improve the team. Now, we do need at least one left-sided defenseman who can step up, because we've got 2 good right-sided defensemen. I need that other left-sided defenseman to be good. So that's one of the trades. I've got a couple of options there. At the same time, we're looking good in terms of centre play. We've got a couple of really capable wingers, including Philippe Al, who has recently signed with the Ottawa Senators and been sent back down to us. So good to see him getting his career underway, and very happy with that. So yeah, you know, very interesting times indeed. I mean, if you look at Philippe Al, he's probably only rated as a 3-star potential, but that's pretty impressive considering I think 1.5 or 2 stars is minimum for NHL these days. That's kind of the area, as opposed to 3 stars back in FHM 2. So the ratings have changed a little bit. But I think right-sided defensemen, centres, left wings, we're pretty good on. We've got 2 interesting goalie options. I'm going to go with a high potential goalie who's younger, who's better, etc. I'm going to go with Hoylett, which means Brown is one of the 3 players I'm looking at trading. So we've got a good trading option there. Pre-scouting these deals, we came close but couldn't close out the deals for 3 improvements to our teams plus extra draft picks, which I think would all go in our favour. So without too much further ado, let's get into those trades, because there's nothing in free agency. Personnel, if you've seen the beginning video, the first impressions, you'll have seen that we did a little bit of work here and got ourselves a nice setup, including a good head coach who's good at tactics, so we don't need to deal with the tactical side of the game for this first season. This first season I'm going to be playing as pretty much just a general manager, you know, doing some trades, putting a team together, a roster together that the general manager, you know, normally does, so the head coach can come in and actually hopefully get us to the playoffs. So yeah, this is our team currently. Let's go and take a look at the 3 trades I wanted to look at. Now, I did look at maybe someone like Clegg or Clark, however you pronounce it, Cale Clark, from Brandon, but that's a little bit beyond us. I think he'd make an excellent first line left-sided defenseman, but yeah, sadly that's not to be. Of course, Nolan Patrick would be an immensely talented player to bring onto our roster, and we're not going to get that done either. So this is a very good team, Brandon, and you can just see the depth that they've got through the center is amazing. But we did look at Clegg. Instead of Clegg, I decided we were going to go down to the Kootenay Ice, and let's see if I can find... Here we go. So I'm going to go here after Zabrovsky. Right-sided winger. Somewhere we do need to improve. He's got a bit of potential. He would be the first line right winger for us right now. He might make it to the NHL, he might not. But that's not really our issue and our concern. But we do need to get that right wing sorted. So I decided if we were going to go after Zabrovsky, then we could probably put together a deal to make this work. So let's go and see. This is something I set up for a different deal, but if this works, then I'm going to be happy. Oh my god, we're offering way too much. Really? Robbie Holmes is way too much? He's 1.5 star, 3.5 star. I mean, Zabrovsky's in a position we can use, and he's probably better. Probably. We don't know. We haven't got him scouted properly. I think we're offering way too much. Okay, that went much better than expected in that case. Let's go and say then, let's go to the Bantam and see if we can get some thirds. Oh my gosh, we can get thirds. First? Oh, okay. Okay, so it's not as crazy as it sounded. So that's a second and a third this year, a second next year, and then a second the year after. Can we get that? For Robbie Holmes, please tell me we can get that. I'm going to be so delighted if I can actually get that. Oh my god, who else have they got? Hold on, let's not be hasty here. This is something that I really didn't expect. What about Fleury? He shoots right, but he can play left defenseman. He would be an absolute star for us. Let's get rid of that third and add in Fleury. What would that... Okay, we can get... we can get some good players here. Not that they have many good players, but if we can get a defenseman and a right winger out of this, then that's going to be absolutely outstanding work. Okay, let's put in Paddock then. Let's get rid of Paddock, and any other rights that we really don't want. Yeah, let's keep our rights. Let's keep our rights. Very likely that they'll accept this. Really? We're getting a 3-star, 4.5-star right-sided defenseman. Only scouted to level C, so that might be totally off. But if that's anywhere close to being true, then as you can see from our defensemen, that would be a real upgrade for us. Wait, where's our right-sided defenseman? Surely we had good right-sided defensemen. Bartow and... Oh, perhaps they're not actually going to show up. Perhaps they're non-tradable because they're not ours. Because they belong to other teams, Washington and New York. But yeah, 4.5-star potential, I think it was. 3.5-star, 4.5-star, something like that. So it's quite similar to Hobbs, but we've got Zabrowski there as well. So Kale Fleury would be very similar to those kind of players. And 17 would be absolutely fantastic. He's a bit of a leader. You know what? I've got to pull the trigger on that deal. I've got to. Zach Zabrowski on the right wing, 2.5 to 3.5 stars, would instantly make him a starting player. So with Zablocki, Cole and Zabrowski, we'd be okay on the right wing as long as we got a 3-star or above ability right winger as a first liner. That's what I'm looking for. So we're getting players we can use. Zabrowski and Fleury. We're gaining a second round pick in 2017, 18 and 19 in the Bantam draft. To get that, we're giving up a 1.5 to 2.5 star goaltender who's 4th choice. And we're giving up a left winger who's 1.5 to 3.5. Decent player. But again, he's, you know, what's that? That's, when you include Arl in this, that's the 6th choice left winger. So we're getting, at worst, what would end up being a 3rd-line defenseman, who on most teams might be a 1st line. And currently a 1st line, probably ending up as a 2nd-line right winger. For a 6th choice left winger and a 4th choice goaltender, plus 2nd round picks, very likely they'll accept this offer. Please let that be right. Offer, trade. I am hoping against all hopes that that is correct. Wow. I certainly did not believe that that was going to be the case. But okay. Okay, the second deal that we were looking at was with Seattle. Now the Thunderbirds have a decent team, nothing really too sort of good right now. So I was thinking about this deal. If we can get Turner Ottenbright, now he's a left-sided defenseman, scouted to a B2.5-4. He would be a 1st-line defenseman for us. Not a great defenseman, maybe, but he'd be good enough right now. And he might not go up to the NHL, so we might be able to keep him for a couple of seasons. And okay, that deal seems to have disappeared somewhere. I'm not sure why, but let's go and put him back in. So there's Turner Ottenbright. At the same time, we do have players that we can get rid of. Now, if we're bringing in an extra right defenseman, we can get rid of Scheuer, which is something that they want. So we're moving here, you can see a 2 to 3.5 right-sided defenseman, and getting a 2.5 to 4, possibly, left-sided defenseman. So there's not too much in that trade. We've also got Elmer to dump in, which we really don't need. And this is well balanced, but probably won't go through from what I've seen. So if we go down to the Bantam and add in a 10th, they will probably accept this offer. So let's round out with, let's get the 10th back and drop in the 13th. So 13th, 14th, 15th round picks, Elmer, Scheuer for Ottenbright. Now really we're giving up Elmer and these 3 picks for almost nothing, because Scheuer and Ottenbright are pretty much a wash. But that's okay, because we really need Ottenbright, and Scheuer is going to do absolutely nothing for us, etc, etc. I'm okay with this deal as it is right now. I'm not sure we could get anything else. I did look elsewhere and figure out, you know, could we get another player? Is it worth it? There's not really too much on Seattle. If we wanted to do other things, we probably could. I haven't really scouted out all the other teams yet. But I think this would be a good way of bringing down the number of players we have. So we would need to take another player back. Who's that? Mollanen, ooh. Foreigner, we can't do that. We don't want to move Baker Shaw. Really? He's absolutely terrible. What about Pole? Really? Oh my gosh. Okay, these kids are absolutely abysmal. What about Honey? Okay, so they'll allow Connor Honey to go. Again, not a good player, but we're not really bringing him into play. In fact, if we're going to do that, why not go after Osterman, who's only got 1 year left on his deal, and we can just kick that through. So while this might go through, I'm not sure. We're not really picking up anything that we truly want now. I would like a 3-star left-sided defenseman. So whilst this is a decent deal, we're kind of improving a defenseman and moving him over to a side. I really haven't looked around the league. So let's have a look now then for a decent left-sided defenseman that we could actually have. So I haven't really looked at most of these teams or most of these deals that maybe are available. So there might be something here which is too good to give up. And oh, look at Ingram. Oh, that's tempting. Goaltender. Not a great goaltender, but... Oh, sorry, he is a great goaltender. Not really a position we need, I meant to say. So that's Moose Jaw, Portland. Left-sided defenseman, 2.5, 4.5. With Zajakovsky. That's a decent deal that might tempt me. Oh, see, that might be slightly better for us. So let's go and add in, what was it, Elmer, and it was who? Scheuer. Yeah. Well-balanced offer. So we need a little bit more here to get Zakowski. But again, he's got that extra little bit of potential. That might be decent. That might be a decent one. So if we give up Scheuer, let's keep Elmer. And instead throw out 10, 13, 15, and 10. That might not go through. And okay, it's taken me a little bit of time, but I think I found something that might work. Now again, it's getting rid of Scheuer or Scheuer. I'm not sure. Scheuer, I think, is probably Scheuer, maybe. But Tate Olson here is the man to bring in. 19-year-old left-sided defenseman, defensive defenseman. Not well scouted, but could be a 3-4. Now, I like that. I do like that. That should be a first-line left defenseman for us. Give him out Scheuer, 2 to 3.5 star. Doesn't become an issue because we're picking up so much more in the right position. Now, the only way I've managed to get it through, however, is to include a 10th round pick in the Bantam draft through all 3 years and this 3rd round pick from 2019. Now, we're missing our 5th round pick and we've traded our 4th round pick away for Vancouver's. So that's, 1 pick missing here in the top 5 rounds. We look at next year's and we've got the 1st, but we're missing the 2nd. We've got 3rd all the way through, so that's probably, 1 more pick there again that we've had to make trades on before. So if I trade away a 3rd round pick from this year, we're also losing a 5th, a first 5th round pick. So in round 3, in 2019 in round 10, next year's round 10 and this year's round 10 to upgrade Scheuer to Tate Olson. Probably accept this offer. And I think we're just going to pull the trigger on this one because I like Olson. Although, they do have other players. If we could get Olson, who is this 3 to 4, Could we get a year younger and slightly better? No, we couldn't. See, that wouldn't work. What if I were to put in our first or second over here? No? No, so that's probably too much, okay? I understand that. What if we put a fourth in then? Can we slowly work this back round to our offer? No, so that's... See, I can't downgrade there at all. So let's put that third back in for Tate Olsen then. So they've got good left-sided defensemen already. They've got Anderson and Roop, who is a captain or whatever. Can we get him instead, maybe? We're offering way too much. So Olsen, for some reason, being a little bit cheaper. 12s everywhere. What's Roop at this point? Roop is slightly better scouted and decent. Okay, he is decent. Okay, Iron Man, not see him on the injured list. That's going to be good. Better players. One a bit better than Hobby could turn into an outstanding player. Okay, so Sam Roop, who slightly worse off offensively, but decent. He's a slightly taller player, slightly heavier player, slightly better scouted. He is a year older. And that leadership of 15, I mean, that could come in quite handy. Team player of 14, that's decent. I mean, Roop might be a better player. And that'll allow us to get... Oh my. Oh my. Oh my. Okay, right. So, Schleur is worse than Roop. I didn't think we'd be able to get Roop. That's why I went for Olsen. But it looks like if we figure out this deal, again, we can come out on top. So, there's a third round. Very likely they'll accept that. Okay, so if we can pull in their first, and their first, oh, not only are we gaining picks, we're gaining really, really good picks. Okay, players, let's see, who else could we get? We could get Morrison here. We could get Morrison. Gabriel, we could get Gabriel. Okay, okay. Anderson, we could get Josh Anderson. Could we get Olsen? Could we get Olsen? And very likely they'll accept this offer. Why? Because they want to give up Roop so badly? I'm not sure on this one. I'm not sure why. But if I can get Anderson and Roop, that would actually be pretty special. With a trio of firsts, I mean, we can't lose on this deal, right, guys? Right? Right? I mean, that's, like, not something that can happen, right? There's no way that this deal should go through. But it looks like Schleur and Porto for Roop and Anderson plus a trio of first will work in our favour. Now, we haven't scouted Josh Anderson at all. He could not be a 5-star player. He could be much worse. But really, for offering out a 2-3 for a potential 3-5, I mean, we've got to do that deal. So Josh for Porto, that is a good deal. Choulet for Roop, I believe, is another good deal, and we know what we're getting with Roop. He's been scouted out fairly well, plus a trio first. We can't lose in that deal. I mean, have your say in the comment section below, as always, and tweet me at ChrisArmy. Give me feedback, guys. Are these good deals, bad deals, any other ways? Is this, you know, what do you think of this trading system as well? Is it good? Is it bad? Is it better than FHM2? I think it is. I'm not getting my way as much, but every now and again I find these deals that I don't understand why. Now, if we don't take Roop, suddenly they don't want to do the deal. So Oye, what's that? Is that overage? Perhaps? Is that something there? I'm not sure what the OA is. And the C, I mean, what is that C? I'm not too sure. So maybe that's playing into why. Perhaps he's out of contract, maybe. At the end of the season, that's got something to do with it. Maybe there's other things, but they'll probably accept this offer. So I think I've got to try it and just see if this is actually the case. So Slurm for Anderson and Rope with a hat-trick of round 1 picks. This has got to be a good deal. In the first deal, we're picking up 3 seconds, a right winger, a right defenseman for 2 players we don't mind giving up at all. In this one, we don't mind giving up these 2 players. We're getting 2 left-sided defensemen and 3 firsts. I mean, probably accept this offer. Well, let's see. We got 2 really good deals on the table right now, and if they go through, I think that we're really up there amongst the best teams in the league. We still need that first line right winger. That's the big deal that's left to do. So we're not done with trades. We're going to go, and one I have scouted out that came close was trading away our goalie Brown, and he was going to go, I believe, over to the Red Deer Rebels. So let's put Brown in, and let's put the 3 picks I had in, which didn't quite make it work. So that's a 4th, a 4th, and a 4th. On the flip side, we would be able to pick up Pratt. Now that's a 5-star player, 2.5-star ability. That's what I had, and that almost goes through. But now I'm looking at it and I'm thinking about it. 2.5-star right winger, we can do better than that. Let's go to Victoria. Nothing. Vancouver. Nothing. The Tri-City Americans got nothing. Broncos got nothing. The Chiefs have got Kelly Yamamoto. Oh, Yamamoto. Okay. Okay, no, that's a player I can get behind trading for. That's a player and a half. Okay, how are we going to do this? Who are we going to trade? If we put Lochner up on the board then, alongside Brown. Okay, so they won't go for that. Oops, I didn't mean to take Brown off. I wanted to take Lochner off. So let's remove these draft picks. And what would I have to do here? A second, maybe. A second, a first, and a first, and a second. No, right. So Yamamoto won't go even with Brown. So that's a shame, because yeah, that's such a great option to be able to have, but that's not going to work out. Hudson can go on the left wing, which means we could move someone over the right, maybe. We've got Keanu Yamamoto's not quite as good over here, so we might have to trade away a good player to get Yamamoto there, and I don't believe that we can actually do that. So if you go back through, Pratt is the guy I found very quickly, but is there anyone better? Is there a right winger out there that we can go after? Now, Popogayev, yes, but he's Russian, and we're at our limit of 2 foreigners. Now, maybe we can trade away one of the 2. I believe that maybe Zabrev or whatever we've got. Zabrovsky, maybe? Is it Zabrovsky? Yes. Right defenseman. If we're bringing in a good right defenseman, we could get rid of him. Left side is already... Yeah, maybe. Like, maybe that's something that we could do, but I'm not sure that we can actually swing that right now. Not quite the way it is. 3-star for Wong. I mean, scouting level B, again, not too bad on the attributes, but I'm not sure. Just to get a 3-star, I'm not sure there. We should get Zaborski in, which is a decent option. Can we get someone here, though, that's actually going to be a great right-wing option for us? What about Cole Lin? No, he looks like a decent player. 17, that might be something. So we might come back to Kelowna as well. Oh, see, an international player. So again, we'd have to make a move to open up for Bolsas. We cannot do that. Tuola as well. We wouldn't be able to make that move as things stand. Calgary's got nobody. And the Wheat Kings have got nobody. Although we weren't actually at the top of the list, I think. So, yeah. Not for all of them. Now, Nolan Patrick, I know, can play right wing. I know he can play right wing. And that would be such an amazing player to pick up. Now, is there any way that we can make this work? If we got rid of Tyler Brown, it's not starting promising, is it, guys? It's not starting promising at all. Hardly likely. Okay, so we've kind of pulled it back to a level of slightly okay. But if we look here, our centres, we got 3.5, 3.5, 2.5 with 5-star potential. Then we got Smith here at 2 stars with 3.5 potential. So what if we were to put in someone like him? And then we'd need to take someone back, of course. And we could bring in maybe someone they're not actually using as well. Someone that isn't dressed. So any good potential that they're not dressing right now? Reed Duke, this is a well-balanced offer. Look at that. So I can go for Reed Duke, 3-4, but he's only scouted to a level of C, so that might not be right. We would be giving up a good prospect in Leshin, but I mean, we would be picking up Nolan Patrick to play on the right wing. And oh boy, do I want Nolan Patrick right now. I didn't think I would, but I do want Nolan Patrick. We're trading away Tyler Brown, who is someone who we don't need. Now, to make this go through, I'm not sure if we'll be able to do anything interesting here. Let's try the 4ths. This is normally my starting point to see if I can just tip it over, and we can't. So, not 4ths. What about a 2nd? Okay, so 1st would probably do it. We're getting 1st across. We're getting 1st and 2nds, aren't we, through the first 2 deals, if they go through. So if I can put a 3rd in, a 3rd in, and a 3rd in, yeah, that won't go through. A 2nd. Okay, so a 2nd and 2/3. Now, I'm not sure how much that really is worth. A 2nd and 2/3 to upgrade Lesherson to Patrick. Weaken the centre core a little bit, but vastly improve the right wing. Also, we're picking up Reed Duke, who is a pretty decent centre, to replace Jake Lesherson. And that's not a bad deal, because we're kind of improving now and getting rid of a little bit of future. And we're getting rid of a goaltender who's only going to be backup for us anyway. So is that 2/3 and a second? I mean, if we get the seconds and the first, we're going to be down 2/3 to gain 2 seconds, 3 firsts. We'd also lose our fourths, I believe. No, we don't lose our fourths because we never put those in the deal. So yeah, we'd gain 3 firsts, 2 seconds, and we'd lose 2/3. We're upgrading 1 round from 3rd to 2nd in both 17 and 18. And we're gaining first round picks in rounds... Yeah, first round picks in every year. We're also gaining a second line right wing, a third line right defenseman. Let me get this right. That was in the first deal, losing backup players. So that's fine. We're losing 2 backup defenders, 1 left, 1 right, to pick up 2 left-sided defensemen. Yeah, so we're only improving throughout those deals. This is the deal where we're not improving with Leschyshyn to Duke, but Patrick is a huge upgrade. Tyler Brown to the next goalkeeper, of course, is a big drop, but I like our 17-year-old. So if they'll probably accept that, I'm going to offer that deal. Well, okay then. So those 3 deals are out there, and my scout says that they should accept all 3. So, if that's true, we've got ourselves Patrick on the first line right wing. We'll have ourselves Zaborski, on the second line right wing. That means that we've got Zablocki on the third line, Cole on the fourth line. That's good right wing depth, especially compared with right now. That's a major upgrade. Also, as part of that first deal, we'd pick up Cole Fleury, I believe it is, as a right-sided defenseman. So we'd have Hobbs and Zabrowski with Fleury as right-sided defenseman, which would be awesome. So the right side of the team looks really strong at that point. Left-sided defensemen come through in the second deal we did, where Anderson and Rupp will come in, pushing Harrison all the way down to a third-line defenseman. That would be really nice. As well as in those deals, we'd have seconds and firsts from Kunti and Prince George, I believe it was, respectively. So we'd really be improving the team. We'd really be improving our draft stock. We would drop Brown and play Chapman as backup. Not too bad, really. I'm not too worried about making that change. So we'd lose him, and we would lose Leschyshyn. But we would also pick up Duke to go in, who's a 2-star player. 2-star, 3-star, I believe. So he would go in as third-line centre, with Smith as fourth-line centre. We keep Steele and Brooks as our first and second-line centres. So that's quite decent. The only place we really won't have made any changes is left wing, where we start with Wagner and Ahl as decent players, and then Lidahl and Woods a decent depth. But I would like to trade up if we could on there. I'm really not sure we can though. So right now, if we can get these 3 trades in, I'll be fairly happy. If we could make a little bit of a move, maybe for 1 left winger, maybe upgrade Ahl, and that'll unlock as well a foreign spot, I'd be fairly happy with that. You know, that could be something which works in our favour. So yeah, maybe Ahl out for a really good young left winger. Not sure. Or maybe Lidahl might be a better player to get rid of. We drop Lidahl, we pick up someone that's got 3.5 star or 3-star ability and just improve there. So this video is getting on a bit, but I'm going to try and figure out this deal, put one together, see what you guys think. We're going to offer it out, and you can have your say in the comment section below. Well, after looking through, there doesn't seem to be too much out there on that left wing. There's a couple of players I'd like to trade for, but really they're not interested in doing a deal, and the players they'd want and the picks they'd want kind of make me think it's not worth it, seeing as we do have 2 3-star players on that left hand side. You know, we've got a 2 3 stars, we've got a 2.5. That should be fine for the left wing. So I'm not too worried about that at this stage. Let's move on and see if these 3 deals come back. Hopefully they do say yes. If they want more, then okay, I might have to do some tweaking of the deals and reoffer. But right now, I'm hoping that they actually come through for us, and we can hand our our head coach one heck of a roster to go after the WHL title. So let's see what happens. So okay, spoiler alert, but you can see some stuff that's happened up here. Which are the ones that were weighted in our favour, I thought, but obviously not. Okay, we'll get to that. Oh, wow, I'm so happy. So Norway got a player hurt. We look like, there we go, Slovakia, Slovenia and Germany are qualified. Interesting there. MVP Dennis Seidenberg, 35-year-old German. Very, very decent player there. Good defender for the Islanders. Sebastian Dahm was the best goalie, as sadly Denmark did not make it through and Norway did not make it through, and I'm not sure if Sweden made it through. I couldn't see any of those. Seidenberg there is the best defenseman, and Leon Draisaitl, the Edmonton Oilers forward. So Germany doing really well, and it looks like as well Dahm was the best goalie. So that's quite decent. We've only got 2 deals back. We have not got the Brandon Wheat Kings deal back, where Nolan Patrick might be heading to Regina. Might be. So we look here that we can execute this trade now, says Luke Pierce. We would send 17-year-old Robbie Holmes 1.5 to 3.5 star. A 16-year-old goalie Max Paddock 1.5 to 2.5 star. That would go over to Kootenay Ice. We would get the second rounds in each of the 3 seasons. We would get right defenseman Cale Fleury, who's a 3-star, 4.5 star, 17-year-old defenseman. We've also got 19-year-old right winger, 2.5 to 3.5 star, Zach Zaborowski, who would be a first line at this point right winger, and we would be playing on the second line. So not a great player. Fleury is worth both those right now, I'd say. And the second round picks are just beautiful. Just beautiful. So I'm going to complete that trade. We're going to send them over. We're going to bring in Zaborowski and Cale Fleury, plus those seconds. Beautiful. Love getting deals like this done. This is why I love management games. I'm getting exciting youngsters that we can improve the team with now, develop, move on to the NHL probably at a later date, and I'm stacking draft picks to get even better youngsters in the future. So this is barely fair. So I agree, although I wouldn't agree it's barely fair. I'd say it's unfair. But we're giving up Liam Schuyler, who is a 3.5 star potential, and Poteau, who's a 3-star potential. So 2 18-year-old defensemen. We'd be getting back left-sided defenseman Josh Anderson, who is a 3 to 5 star, and Sam Rope, who's a 3 to 4 star. We'd be getting better players from them than we're giving up, in my opinion. As well as that, we gain their first round picks for the next 3 years. No doubt that that is a yes from me. So Sam Rope, Josh Anderson, welcome to the club. We'll stack those picks on top of the seconds we picked from Kootenay. We've got Prince George's firsts. That is fantastic. The only deal now is backup goalkeeper Brown and third line centre with excellent potential, Leshizin for Brandon's, Duke and Patrick. So will Nolan Patrick be joining Anderson, Rope, Zaborowski and Fleury? Please let it happen. Please let it happen. We'll be giving up, I believe, 2/3 in a second to make that trade work, as well as two very promising youngsters to get back a solid third line centre so we wouldn't lose too much. But really that trade's all about reaching for Nolan Patrick to add that last bit to what could be a championship winning roster. That's why we're pulling the trigger if this deal comes back, and it will. Look at this deal. Jake Leshizin, only 17. He is a 2.5 star, 12, 11, 11, 12. Now, we gain 1.5 stars with Nolan Patrick on talent. The potential is the same. So we're not changing too much here apart from getting a better player. Plus Nolan Patrick would be our first line right winger at this point. Maybe we move one of our two centres that we've got that are 3.5 star right, 3.5 star right now. Maybe move one of those out to the right, let Nolan Patrick play centre. That's something to be decided as well. But Patrick for Jake Leshizin is not a bad deal at all for us. So that's worth 2/3, definitely. Reed Duke, a 3-4 centre for a 2.5 and for goalie, who's only backup anyway, plus a second. I mean, that's kind of okay. So maybe Brown for Duke and Brown and 2/3 for Duke, I'm okay with. And Patrick and for Leshizin in a second, I'm okay with. It's not a great deal. It's not a great deal, but that's what we had to give up to get Nolan Patrick, to get a superstar. I'm buying. Nolan Patrick is here. Patrick at the Pats. We've got our storyline. We've got our narrative for the season ahead. Welcome, Nolan Patrick. You absolute legend. Look at him. 5-star potential here. Consensus. This means that in the NHL, he's probably rated at 5-star as well. So he was picked at 4 overall. If we look at Leshizin, he was picked 6 overall. So very close between the two players. Very, very close. But I'm so happy to pick up Nolan Patrick. I really am. So I think this could be the start of something fantastic. Let's have a look at our centers now and see. Luke Smith, what are you? You're left-handed. You can play out on the right, but I probably won't want to. And Sam Steele, our former best player with a 4-star potential, consensus. You can't really play anywhere, so you're going to have to be kept there. So if we now push Nolan Patrick out to the right wing, and we drop Lochner and Henry instead of picking up Patrick and Zaborowski, we've got a 4-star, a 2.5 star and 2 2-stars on that right wing. Better than we started with. We keep our 2 3-stars, a 2.5 and a 2 on the left wing. That is also quite solid. In the center, we keep our 2 3.5-star players. We keep a 3rd star on that 3rd line, but with a little bit less potential. Duke comes in there, and that means Smith holds on to his 4th line as a 2-star. That attack, I think, is good enough to win this season. Now, in the defense, if we move away from Bartow and add Fleury, you can see Zaborowski, Hobbs, and Fleury. That is a very, very, very nice set of right-sided defensemen. As well as that, we have upgraded 2 2-stars in Bruce and Hilsendeger into Rope and Anderson as 3 stars. So 3-star, 3-star, 2.5 on the left. Not quite as good as the right, but again, that is solid. We still keep Hoylett. We trade away a goalie who's as good but 2 years older. We keep Chapman as backups. We've weakened a little bit in goal. We've weakened a little bit third line centre. But we've improved so much elsewhere. Plus, I believe if we look at the depth charts now, we've got 2 firsts and 2 seconds this season. We've got 2 firsts and a second next season. We've got 2 firsts and a second next on 2019 as well. So we're improving our draft picks. If we do win, we're picking up teams who, of course, will finish below us, which means we'll be able to draft a little bit better than if we held our picks. I like the way this is all set up. We're going to have to send players down. I'm okay with that. So players like Kane can go down, and let's just make sure that we're getting rid of players in the right positions as well. So 2.5, 1.5, 2. Yeah, so we keep Bruce up. So we send these guys down. So we send him down. We send Sandstrom down. And let's see, we only need to send 2 more down. So you stay up for depth. You can stay up as well for depth. Let's send Henry or Lochner down. Which one of these guys? So Henry it is. You go down. Clicks, we've got a right winger, we've got a left winger, we've got a centre. And Bruce is staying up, so Williams goes down into Junior B. We're at our limit now. 25 out of 25 players. This is the squad that we should be going for. 20 out of 20 have been dressed. We have got 2 out of 2 foreigners, and we're under 80,000 for the year. Absolutely fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. You can see, when you look at the abilities, Nolan Patrick, Zorobrowski, Steele, Brooks, Hobbs, Wagner, Anderson, Al, Rope, Duke, Fleury, all 3-star or above. Quite a few good players in this team now. Then we've got Zaborowski, who is the same name but without a V here as our defender. With Harrison, Hoylett the goalie, Liedal there as 2.5s. And then decent depth, 2-star players here with our depth players. And of course, Chapman in goal, who's not a very good player, but will do decently. So with the team we've got, the way things are set up, the kind of players we've now got in our organization, the roster we're able to hand to a tactical manager, I'm expecting big things. I'm expecting big things. So this is a big video. It's going up late today, but this is a big video. I hope you're enjoying this. This is the rebuild phase of the start of our path to glory. Nolan Patrick at the Pats. Regina set for a regal display this year. Can we win everything? With this team, I think we can. I'm hoping that we get some big things. And with Nolan Patrick, have we just secured ourselves a season with the upcoming #1 overall NHL draft pick? Have we got that in place? Is he the guy everyone's going to be looking to? I kind of think so. And if that's the case, maybe, just maybe, our legacy begins now. Thanks for watching. As I say, enter the giveaway at Chris Army. Head over there, check things out. You've got to follow me on Twitter, retweet the tweet, and then head over to Gleam, where you've got a number of options to increase the chances you have, the number of entries. So head over, see if you can win yourself a copy to the game. Once again, thanks very much to those folks at Out of the Park Development, at Franchise Hockey on Twitter, for hooking us up with the giveaway. Really do appreciate it, so go show them some love. Go buy the game, enter the giveaway, etc, etc. Have your say, as always, on the trade we've done, the game, what it looks like so far, the squad we've been able to build, and your upcoming thoughts of the season ahead. Until next time though, when we start the season, hopefully in style, I've been Chris Orme. Thanks very much for watching, guys. This is the new iteration, Franchise Hockey Manager 3. Brand new, out very recently. I do encourage you to check it out. It comes highly recommended from me so far, and I don't see my opinion changing at all. I love this kind of game. FHM was a decent game, a good sort of starting point. 2 was a better game with quite a lot of nice features in, but still had a few things missing. 3 is a huge improvement, especially tactically. You can really sink your teeth in, and this Path to Glory mode really does sort of get me in the mood, sort of starting as unemployed and working my way up to the NHL, and I love that journey, developing my career as well as young careers. It's all there for you, plus international play, like the Olympics and the World Cup, FHM 3. Check it out, guys. Until next time, thanks for watching. Y'all take care. Enter the giveaway.